Good evening, everyone. My name is Landis Ray Morgan, and I'm here with my beautiful wife.
Hello, I'm Rotunda Morgan.
And you're tuned in to another episode of Living More with the Morgans. You guys, it's Tuesday night. We missed last week, but we are here in full effect.
Yes.
In all pink.
Yes.
Looking pink and pretty.
Thank you.
Pink and pretty.
Pink and handsome.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yes,
you are here with us live on Living More with the Morgans again. And if you're tuned in for the first time, thank you so much for tuning in. Right now, you're tuned in on several different channels across social media right now. And so you can find us everywhere on social media. So if you are tuned in, go ahead and say hello in the comments and let us know that you are definitely in the building with us here on Living More with the Morgans, you guys. And like I said, we're all over social media right now. And we want to make sure that you guys are hearing us loud and clear. Let us know if you can hear us loud and clear over the airways, that you can see the visuals. Everything is looking tight. Everything is looking crisp. Why? Because we gotta do it in excellence. You guys, we gotta do everything in excellence. And so we want to make sure. So let us know if you guys can hear us out there loud and clear on all the platforms. And like I said, you guys, we are on social media in full effect. Right now, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Living More Morgans. If you're not connected with us on Facebook, go ahead, type in the search bar, Living More with the Morgans. Find us on our official page for Living More with the Morgans. Go ahead and hit follow. Go ahead and hit like. Do all that good stuff, and you can watch us and you can connect with us there on Facebook. We're also on Twitter right now. If Twitter is your thing, you can find us live streaming right now on twitter.com/Live More Morgans on Twitter. And if you're not following us on Twitter, be sure to do that definitely on our Twitter page at twitter.com/Live More Morgans. It's a little shorter. Live More Morgans. And then we're also right now live on YouTube. Shout out to our YouTube fam and our YouTube subscribers. They are live with us right now on YouTube at youtube.com/Living More Morgans. And so shout out to everybody that's on YouTube. We can't see you guys right now, that if you're on our YouTube channel, but we want to shout out to you and thank you again so much for tuning in with us. And then if you're not connected with us on our other social media platforms, you can do so on our official TikTok page at tiktok.com/Living More Morgans. It's the tick to the talk, and we over there doing our thing as well. So be sure to follow us on TikTok for all the new stuff that we're going to be bringing out, some new live stuff that you're not going to see on our other social media platforms. It's only going to be exclusive for the TikTok channel. And then we're also on Instagram. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at instagram.com/Live More Morgans. So like I said, baby, we all over social media. So y'all ain't got no excuse but to holler at us, to come kick it with us, to follow us, connect with us. And if you DM us, we hitting you back. We letting you know that it's all love. We want to hear from you, and we definitely want to engage with you. And so right now, I just want to go to our channel real quick. And who is this? Let's see. Tamika Greenlong is in the building. I ain't seen that face and that name in a while. So shout out to Tamika. Thank you so much for tuning in. She says, blessings, fam.
Family too.
Absolutely. She said the sound is clear. So Tamika, thank you so much for having our backs and letting us know that everything is running smoothly. And we miss you guys tremendously, you and Russell and the kiddos. And so we miss you guys. And I know that Russell went live the other night, and I did catch some of it. I didn't catch the whole broadcast, but he did. Yeah, he did go live, and he had a very interesting topic that he was dealing with. He drives Uber, and he was talking about how he was talking to some young ladies in our generation, the younger generation, or how they were kind of dressed and different things like that. So that's going to kind of tie in to our topic tonight. And so shout out to Russell, definitely jumping online and last night and going live. And so we got another Connections event space is in the building. What's up, big bro? This is Gregory at man. What's going on, Chief? Man, what's up, Greg? Man, my boy's in the building. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, man. Let us know that you guys can hear us loud and clear on your end as well. And so you guys, we're gonna have some fun tonight here on Living More with the Morgans. We got a good show, and as always, we got a good show. But before we jump in to our show, we just want to say thank you, first of all. Thank you guys so much for the shout outs, for the love, for the comments, for the calls, the texts. That we're celebrating our anniversary, our 9th anniversary on June 28th. And man, it was beautiful to bring it in. Number 9. 9 is a significant number, you guys. And so we were able to bring that in. Just, we kept it simple this year. We had a nice little dinner. We did our thing. Nothing real extravagant and big. But next year for the Big 10, we're gonna have to do it big. We have to do it big so for 10 next year, you guys.
Shout out to everyone who texted, who called, who sold into us.
Yes.
Who blessed us. We are so tremendously blessed, and we're just grateful for you. And we just wanted to tell you all that. So thank you again so very much.
Absolutely. And the thing of it is, and we try to get back with everyone when they leave a comment, right? And so if it took us some time to get back to you guys, please forgive us. I mean, we had a ton of comments and different things to go through, but we'd like to get to everyone. Yeah. Why? Because you guys took your time to at least say something to us.
Right.
And so the least we can do is comment back.
Right.
Not just a little heart or a thumbs up, but we'd like to go back and engage with every person that hits us up on our social media pages. And so thank you so much. If we haven't had a chance, because we had some different shout outs on different pages and stuff that we still haven't even gotten to. And so if we haven't, thank you guys so much again for just, connecting with us, for blessing us, for praying for us.
Yes.
I mean, it's 9 years and there, it was some rough patches indeed. There were times when we didn't think we was going to make it, but God knew we was going to make it and we made it. And so we still here and we still doing our thing. And she looking pretty in the pink.
Thank you.
All right now. And so, you guys, again, thank you so much for the shout outs on our anniversary.
And
so, man, so much we want to get into tonight. If you guys were tuned in a couple of weeks ago, we had our hip hop, our 50th anniversary hip hop shows. We had part 1 and part 2. If you missed that, go back to our YouTube channel and watch part 1 and part 2 of our hip hop 50th anniversary of hip hop that we were celebrating. And we brought out we brought out the Kango, we brought out the gold chains, we brought out the ice, the bling bling, we brought it out for you guys. And so if you didn't get a chance to check out the hip hop celebration episodes, part 1 and 2, you can find them on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Living More Morgans. And while you're over there at YouTube, don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon for notifications on when we're going to go live or when new videos are going to be posted or when we just having a little fun, and we'll put some posts and different things out there right directly on our YouTube channel. And so you guys, again, the hip hop celebration part 1 and 2 on our YouTube channel. It was fun. It was dope. We counted down our top 20 favorite hip hop artists.
In our generation, me in the 80s, you in the 90s.
And me in the 90s.
Yeah, we dressed the part.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. I thought it was dope. I
hope you guys enjoyed it.
Absolutely. I thought it was dope. And we did it just for you guys, just to do something new, something different out the box, man. Everybody, sometimes we get on here and we just, people get on here and they be so just dry and rigid and just quoting scriptures. And I'm like, nah, you're not going to find that on Living More with the Morgans. No. You're going to find us living and living more. And so that's what it's about, you guys. And check that out on our YouTube channel. And so again, you guys, we've got a great show tonight, and one that I think is imperative for this generation, for the older generation, our generation, for my wife's generation, Generation X, and those even older, the baby boomers and so forth. I think it's an important topic because we are still having to ask this question, and it's a tough question to ask, you guys. Whatever happened to chivalry?
Right.
And I quite honestly, I believe that, some people say that chivalry is dead. And I'm not going to go that far to say that chivalry is dead. I'm not going to go that far. I think it's dying. I think it's on the deathbed. Right. I think it needs to be resuscitated, but I think there's still hope. I really do. And I think there's still hope because, for one, there are still people that are out there being respectful towards women, being respectful towards the ladies, and the ladies being respectful towards the fellas, because it is two-way. It's not just a one-way thing. It is two-way. But what it boils down to really is, you know, is it a lost art within our society today? And that's across all generations, and not just the young generation, the Gen Zs and, you know, the millennials or whatever, but across all generations right now. It's like, what happened to the self-respect for, you know, for ourselves, and then the respect that we give for one another?
That's right.
And like I said, it's like a dying lost art right now within our society across racial cultures, not just in the Black community, not just in the white community, but across the board. We're seeing some things in our society nowadays that it's like we are praising what's bad as if it's good.
Right.
And we're praising what's good,
Right.
or we're condemning what's good as if it's bad.
Right.
You know, and help me out, baby, because we got to drop some nuggets tonight, because I know this is something that was heavy on your heart, definitely heavy on my heart. And I'll bring up, you know, what kind of brought this about, because some recent occurrences took place when we were out in public, and I'll share that here momentarily. But what are your thoughts on what you're seeing as far as the generations in our society right now, as far as chivalry? Is it, as a woman, is it dead? Is it, you know, in your opinion, is it gone? Is it dried up? Is there any hope still left?
I think there is hope, but I think that because we're so self-consumed now with, you know, society, what's going on, making money, being millionaires, billionaires, having businesses, social media, flossing, showing people, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and, you know, I drive this kind of car, you know, I got this kind of house, you know. We're so busy with trying to one up each other, that we have forgotten about, okay, being men, being women, being gentlemen, being respectable, and being women. I've seen so many women, and we will get more into this, but I've seen, because I am a woman, I've seen women settle. They begin to say, oh, okay, you know, it's whatever, you know, it don't matter. I can do what I want to do. You know, I don't need you to open the doors for me. I don't need you to do anything for me.
Right.
And that's just, I mean, and then, you know what? A lot of the younger generation is doing that. But you guys have to remember, you're going to get older. And you're not going to want a roughneck forever.
Right.
You're going to want a roughneck. He's going to be a daddy. You're going to want him to be a daddy. Then you're going to want him to be a gentleman. And you're going to want him to treat you like a woman should be treated.
Right.
But when we start out with that, and we start out not respecting ourselves and making men respect us, then we don't get the respect we deserve, because we have dumbed down ourselves to the point where, oh, I'm a woman, hear me roar. I can do everything. I can cook it. I can bring it in. I can do all of this and that. That's true. We can do that. But at the same time, when you do have someone in your life, you should want them to love you and respect you and show you that you know, we use that word queen loosely. Oh, I'm a queen, you know. Come on. But then you don't act like a queen. You don't treat your husband or your man like a king, because you saying, oh, okay, I don't need you. Society has told men that, hey, they don't really need us, so I don't need to respect you.
Man, it's fun, you know, and that's a great point that you bring up about, you know, and I see it a lot. In our society, in our generation, is like everybody's going around calling each other king. What's up, king? What's up, queen? And like, do we really understand what that means? When you say king, queen, you're talking about the essence of royalty. You're talking, there's nobody above a king. You dig what I'm saying? There's nobody above a king. There's no equal to a queen. No. And so when we go around calling ourselves these things within our society, I strongly think we don't really understand what we're saying. It's a nice catchphrase. It's empowering. I think people are going around and saying it because, you know, it's better than saying the N-word, particularly in our culture as African Americans. It's better than hearing what's up my N, what's up B, what's up, you know, whole, da, da, da. It's better than hearing that. But when you say king, when you say queen, there is an aura, there's an essence, there's something that comes with that. You know, there's an attitude, and there's a there's a charisma, there's a way that you carry yourself
Right.
when you say that, because if not, then you diminish and you demean the word.
Right. We have gotten to the point that, again, we think that when we're doing all these things, we love ourselves. We've gotten to the point that we don't. Because, again, when you accept anything as women, when we accept anything, we accept when a man doesn't open the door for you. When you accept, oh, you go out and go out to dinner and stuff, and he looking at you, you got it? Who, me? You asked me out to dinner,
Right.
going on dates. Oh, we gonna split the tab. No, this is not what it's about.
And see, that's a whole, again, that's a whole generational thing, because I think, especially in your generation, being a Gen X, me being a millennial, we didn't start seeing that even be an issue where the brother didn't pay for the date until my generation, right?
Right.
Until millennials came in.
Right.
Because the way I was taught, of course, my parents being baby boomers and so forth, I was taught that the man always pays for the date, right? You go on a date, you have a good time or whatever, the man is going to take care of that, right? Because I'm asking you, as the man, I'm initiating that contact, that communication with you, saying, I want to be in your presence.
See?
You dig what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I want you in mine.
But see, we have to remember, we have to realize that we're the jewel, we're the prize.
Right.
See, when we don't realize that anymore, and we take for granted that we're not that, then you accept and get anything, and then you start seeing hashtag man hurt, hashtag men are no good. All of these things you start seeing, because why? You've allowed that into your life, because you have taken on what society says. Hey, you're a woman, you can do this, you can hold conferences, you can be boss, and that word.
So it's really like the whole independent movement.
It's the independent,
right? And
movement.
even if you look at from the 60s, in the 50s, the whole feminism thing, where it's like, okay, women, we can work and we can do this and we're equals to men, da da da. Nobody, I don't believe, I'm not debating that women are equal in the workplace, should make the same kind of money, this and that, this and that. I'm all for that.
Right.
Or women can make more money than the men. I'm all for that too. My whole thing is that our society, in our generation, we've really started honing in on this whole independence thing, where women, not all, but a lot of women are saying, because I'm empowered, I can do for myself. I don't need nobody to do this. I can do this on my own. And we've had to see single mothers raising kids, taking care of the households and so forth. And so we have seen, as men, we have seen that display of strength that women have had to come up and step up. And so I think because of, the plight in our communities, because men have not been there, because they have walked away, or because they've been incarcerated, either rightfully or wrongfully incarcerated, they've been separated from the homes. They've been separated from family units. And so women have had to come up. Women have had to come and be a more of a force in corporate America and so forth, right?
That's good.
But one of the things that Greg had asked on our page here, he says, you both love music. Does music today play a part?
I was going to say something about
in that. And
yes.
I believe absolutely. I believe the music and the message in music has inundated our cultures with this independent mindset, where and especially with the young men now. The young men don't even know what they don't even understand how to respect a woman anymore, because you don't see it in the music, you don't hear it in the lyrics. And I'll use this as an example. I know, growing up in the 80s and the 90s, even in 80s R&B, 90s R&B, you had real R&B music where cats were courting a woman. They were romantic with a woman. They were telling her, baby, you're what I need. I can't go through life without you. And, they were serenade. It was cool to serenade a woman. Now it's like the music is so inundated with, garbage, misogynistic lyrics that are like, demanding and just, you know, just trash music.
Right.
I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
And so when your young people and are getting that message all the time on the radio, all the time on social media, all the time on the networks, and that's all they're hearing, that is developed in their psyche. That's developed in their mindset to where, okay, this is how a man is supposed to treat me, or this is how I'm supposed to act like a woman, right? And hear me when I say this, because, you know, Greg, you bring up a good point. When you look at music today and you look at the imagery behind music, particularly in our culture as African Americans, it's like now the stripper is praised, right? Mm-hmm. The stripper and how she dresses and how she makes a living and how she makes money is admired. And so the young girls at, you know, in their teens, 20s, even in their 30s, mid 30s and 40s are looking at the recording artists, the Cardi B's, the Trinas or whatever. They're looking at these young ladies and they're saying, that's what I want to be. I want to be empowered that way. I want to take control that way. I want to have money that way. I want to be a boss chick, like you said. I want to be a boss chick this way. So the music is totally one of the many methods that is being used, particularly in our African American culture. Right. And like I said, I see it across. It's across all cultures. Right. You know, it doesn't discriminate. But it's very prevalent, like you said, it's very prevalent in our society because it's coming through music and it's coming through the movies, it's coming through the television shows. It's
coming through our neighborhoods and what, you know, like you said, men are not being in the homes.
Right.
Now, again, you know, I'll make this example, okay? Mm-hmm. This is what I've gone through. When I raised my daughter, when I was separated and going through a divorce, and I was raising my daughter. When I was raising her, you know, and everything, all of that I was going through was tough. It was tough. It wasn't good. It wasn't easy. You know, there was a lot of things that happened. But what I did not do as a woman, okay, I did not talk against her dad to make him look like he was this person. I did not talk against men because I told our daughter, I said, not every man is the same. And see, that's the thing, because I would not allow myself to become bitter. And when you become bitter, then you come from an angle of always bashing men and always bashing every man is the same. Just because you met this man over in this zip code don't mean he's the same man over in another one. So when we don't tell our daughters that we don't heal, when we don't heal, that's the thing. When we don't heal, then what we do, we pass that down to our children, our daughters, our sons, and we begin to show them, oh, okay, a man ain't no good. Oh, okay, for a man, a woman is no good. She did this to me. She did that to me. Instead of going somewhere and say, wait a minute, let me heal. Let me find out. If I hadn't said to myself, babe, that I was going to heal, I was going to wait, I was going to work on Rotunda before you came along, then I would have taken everything that I've gone through and I would have really caused you to be another, you know, the problem that I had before. I would put all that on him. That is not fair. So that comes when you are, what I want to say, that comes with growth. You have to grow up. You know, I was young when I got married. I wasn't extremely young, but I was young. But when you're young, you think, I mean, a lot of times we make mistakes. We do things that we shouldn't do. And then we blame someone else instead of saying, what is it that I did in the relationship? Was this what God wanted for me? Was this the person? So I
think what you're saying is it really boils down to our family unit is hurt.
Our family unit is hurt.
And so when our family units are hurt, or they're split up, or there's unforgiveness, or there's places that need healing, there's places that need to be mended within our family units, our immediate family units, then like you said, that's being passed down, and our children are picking that up. Our children are picking up the bitterness. They're hearing the conversation that the single mom is having to her girlfriends about all men ain't ish.
Or telling the children that.
Or telling the children that, or your daddy ain't this, or you gonna be just like your daddy. You ain't gonna be nothing. You ain't gonna be this. And so these words that are being said in these households, these examples, unfortunately, these poor examples that are being set, you've got another generation now that's saying, well, I don't care. I don't care then, because if mama didn't care, if daddy didn't care, or he wasn't there, then why should I? And so that's why we're asking the question, whatever happened to chivalry? Because I know for me, in my example, and I understand everybody watching does not have my example. So I want to, and your example. So I want to make that very clear. We understand that everyone comes from a different background. Not everyone was fortunate enough to have, both parents in the home.
Like we
or
did.
if you had, and both my wife and I, we had both of our parents in the home. And sometimes you can have both parents in the home and it's still not a loving environment.
Absolutely.
It could be a volatile environment with both parents there. And you can have a single parent home and have all the love in the world, right? Where the mother and the father have an understanding of still how to raise the children, even in a one parent environment. Or someone could have passed away and so we understand that everyone doesn't have our example. But I want to share our examples because I know for me personally, when I was growing up, I was fortunate to have both parents in the home, and I was the baby, I was the youngest. And so I was able to absorb a lot of things that took place in the house, right? I absorbed the anger. I absorbed the arguments. It was like it came down the pipeline and hit me last. And I was the one that took it the hardest, even though I might not have understood what the volatile words were for, what the arguments were for, what was going on up there at the top. It was still trickling down to me. And so as the baby, I'm processing all of that differently. And so what it does for me, as I'm processing it, it makes me do one or two things. It makes me lash out, or it makes me become alone. It makes me go into my cave, go into my shell, screw everybody else. I don't want to be involved with everybody else, especially when everything is tense and the walls are tight. I want to go into my space. I want to go into my shell, because that's where I find refuge. That's where I find safety. You dig what I'm saying? So that was my story. But on the other hand, coming from a two-parent home, I did feel love. And I did get the understanding, especially having older brothers and sisters. I saw mistakes that they made. I saw the boyfriends that my sisters brought home. You dig what I'm saying? And a lot of them cats were some no good jokers, right? I saw the girls that my older brother would date. And I would see these examples. But then I would see the relationship between my parents, right? Even though sometimes some things were tense, I still saw love. I saw that compassion among them. I saw the sincerity. I saw even the romanticism at times between the both of them. I would see dad, pinching on mama booty and all this. That's why I do you like that, because I grew up seeing that, right? I'm gonna do that when our kids is in here. They gonna be, Daddy, you pinching on mama? Yeah, son, I was doing, that's how you got here, right? And so I saw all of that.
Yes.
Because I saw that,
Right.
along with dad sitting me down and saying, son, this is how you treat a woman. And then not just telling me, but how I saw him do it. Did I see him make some mistakes? Absolutely. But I saw him do more good in his example than I did see the mistakes.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so because of that, I took that to heart and said, you know what? This is how I'm going to treat a woman. This is how I'm going to treat my girlfriends. Right? And so now, I think as a young cat, we all go through our stages, right? And I know as a young man, I went through my promiscuous stage where I was like, yo, I'm trying to soil my wild oats and I'm trying to get it in. And I did all that, right? I did all that. And I'm not someone who denies that, because it's just, it is what it is. But at the same time, I don't believe I was ever disrespectful to women, right? I did my thing, but I wasn't a dog. Let me say it that way. I don't believe I was a dog and had 3 or 4 girls on the side and playing them all at the same time. And, I didn't open doors, and I was cussing women. Yeah, I was cussing women out. I don't think I ever did that. I was still the gentleman. Now, in saying that, I was still the gentleman. I still opened the doors. I still paid for dates. I still was cordial. I was the guy that the girls knew that they could bring home to mom and dad. I was that guy. Like, oh, Nanda, you so sweet, you so nice, and you treat me da 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 da. But I had girls who hurt me. You dig? I had young ladies that I dated that hurt me or didn't appreciate that. And it's like the mistakes of those few hurt me worse than the better situations that I came out of or that I was in, the better relationships I was in. And so in our culture at the time, in our society, the thug dudes was being praised. They had the song, all the songs was about the roughnecks and the thugs. And Tupac comes on the scene, he thug life and da-da-da, and all the girls was going nuts for him. So I felt the change. I felt the change in music, in society, in black culture, where the good guy, the nice guy, the I'll bring you flowers to a date, all of that just changed where it's like the thug rough drug dealer took over. You dig what I'm saying? And then that's all you saw personified in the music videos, in the movies, on the television shows. You saw the black man just morph because it was cool to be Bill Cosby and be intellectual and articulate and a doctor or someone, it was cool to be Dwayne Wade and be a nerd, a geek, but still have Whitley, the pretty girl on your arm but be smart and intelligent. It was cool to be that. But then we saw this change in society where the bad guy becomes the good guy. Right. The thug and the one who is demeaning his woman and the one who's calling his woman a bitch and the dude that's slapping his woman around, that became glorified in our society.
Right. And because the reason I believe it is because we as women did not stand up to it. We did not stand up and say, no, this is not what I'm going to accept. Again, women, whether you know it or not, we really do. We're not saying that the man is not the leader. Please hear what I'm saying. Right. But we lead out. We lead out. You have to show a man how you want to be treated. And being, okay, again, in that time, the thug and all of that, I remember all that. I remember it. But at the same time, no, I didn't want that. Right. I wanted someone that was respectful. I wanted someone that respect themselves. Right. And I wanted someone to understand, look, I'm a woman. I want to be wined and dined. I want to be loved. I want, that companionship. Mm-hmm. I don't want somebody to come over there, hey, what's up, H, and what's going on, babe, let's go, get in the car. And then I'm opening my side of the door. Right. And you opening yours and getting in, talking about you too slow, get on in the car. Right. I don't want anyone that's like that. Right. And I don't want that for my daughter. So the standards for me was high. I'm going to tell you why. When I was going through my divorce and separation, a lot of people where I was working at did not know that at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I had guys that was hitting on me heavily. So when they were hitting on me, there was one guy in particular that used to always ask me out. Now, I'm not going to go into details about this guy, but he shouldn't have been asking me out. Mm-hmm. And I never went out with him. So he named my middle name No. He said, this is Rotunda No. At that time, my name was Ford. Mm-hmm. He said, Rotunda No Ford. That's what he named me. And I told him, I said, look, I respect myself. Right. I'm not just going to, first of all, you shouldn't be asking me to go out with you. Mm-hmm. And second of all, you should respect the fact that you have someone in your life, a wife, right, that you have at home. So, and yes, I said no, and it was going to be no, because why? First of all, I loved me, and I respect me. And right, second of all, I had a young daughter, I had a child that was going to grow up into be as she is now, a grown woman. And I want to be able to teach her and show her the same. You don't allow any young guy to talk to you negatively,
Wow.
to disrespect you or demean you. And you go out to dinner and then he's like, oh yeah, we're going to go out. We splitting the check. No, I told her, you get up and you split.
Right, right.
You shoot him deuce, because why? You have to show them that look, you're going to respect me.
Right, right. And one of the things that, a couple comments on our page here, I think Greg said, is there a place the youth can go to learn it, or is it only taught in the house? I just to answer that question quickly, because I want to hit on your point that you just brought up. I think it starts in the house first. It should start in the house. But again, our family units are broken today, right? And they're broken because there is no head. How can I say this? I'm all for empowering our women. I'm all for it. But the man is still the head of the family unit.
Yes.
I didn't create it this way. God did.
Right. So don't be.
Yeah. So don't hit the inbox
right.
and start threatening us.
Right.
That's not something I created. That's not a model I created. It's if you're a believer in God. Now, if you ain't a believer in God, then that's something that you're gonna have to discuss and deal with that.
Right. It might be tight, but
it might be tight, but it's right. And so, as God created the head unit, the family unit, it started with Adam. It started with a man, woman being created out of him, woman then coming second to him, and then that woman is his wife. That is his helpmeet. You dig? So what happens with that is that when you remove that head, if you came in right now, God forbid, you came in right now with a machete and decapitated my head, you could pull the head off of my body. This body is going to slump to the ground instantly.
Absolutely.
Why? Because this is the control center.
That's right.
The head, the brain is the control center of the entire body. Everything has to function with this head.
That's right.
So as soon as you remove that head, I don't care how strong this body is. You can have strong muscles. You can have a thick, strong neck. You can have a big, broad chest. You can have big breasts. You can have all of that good stuff from the neck down. But if this control center is messed up, none of this is going to function as it should.
No.
So it's the same way with our family unit. So when you pull that man away from the family unit, I don't care how strong and independent in the house, how bad that sister is, that woman is, that man that's not there, there is a void that is in that family unit. I'm not saying it can't still function. I'm not saying that it can't still produce good results in that household. But I am saying that when you remove that element of a man in the home, there are some consequences, there are some repercussions that come with that. And so I think that it starts in the home first. It starts in the family unit first. Now, can it be taught in other places? Absolutely. I think people have to care enough. That's why we're using this platform.
Well, it's taught, I can say for our church, our ministry, the Potter's House, the debutantes.
Right.
It's taught in some churches.
Mm-hmm.
It's taught in some community, recreational communities where people have come together, communities have come together I was looking at seeing men showing young men how to be men, how to tie a tie, and how to do all these things. So it is being
And that's
taught.
exactly what I was going to say, is that I think there are outside groups that are coming in and stepping in and teaching.
There are.
Because they're seeing that the family unit is flawed, or the man isn't there, or there's a piece that isn't there.
Right.
And so I believe that it can be taught, and it is being taught. And like you said, even at the Potter's House, you've got the debutantes where they're teaching young boys to be able to open the door and be courteous to the ladies, and not just that though.
Right.
The ladies got to accept it.
Yes, they have to accept it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
The ladies have to accept it as, okay, he ain't just trying to run game.
Right.
Because that's what it was when I was growing up. It's like you could have, how can I put it? You could be nice and cordial and be complimentary to a woman,
Right.
and she was, oh, that he trying to run game, or he trying to do this and this and this, or that's and we were told that was being disingenuous.
Yes.
And so just to kind of go back with what I was saying is that being the thug was genuine, especially if you're black, right? Being the thug, being loud, being boisterous was genuine.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's true. But again, it is cross culture. I've seen it. We've seen it when we've gone on vacation. We've gone places. I've watched men not open the door for their wives or their girlfriends. I've watched them, not pull the chair out. My husband pulls the chair when we go to dinner. He pulls the chair out for me. He pulls the chair out. And then he helps me scoot it in. I mean, and then he gets so many compliments from that, and I'm like, this has become like just a big deal that shouldn't be. I mean, when I say that, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be a big deal. Let me paraphrase. I'm saying that it is a big deal, but it should be the norm. This should be the norm. And again, to go back to the question, we have to be in our homes. We have to teach this, even if it's a single home. If it's the men that's raising the children, the boys or the girls. If it's the women that are raising the children. We have to say we got to come from a place of healing first. If we're in these single parent homes, so that we can teach our children this. How is it going to stop unless we stop it?
Right.
You understand? How are we going to show that chivalry is not dead unless we take it on? Again, people want to be influencers. Okay, let me hip you to something. Let me give you a challenge. Be an influencer. If you're married, if you're a man, open the door for your wife. Open the door car door. Open the door for your wife. Push her chair in. Be respectful and to her when you guys go out. This shouldn't stop when we get married.
I'll take it even further. Do that for the woman who ain't your wife.
Do that for
every woman. Do it for every woman.
Right.
Now, because let's keep it real. Do it for every woman.
Right.
Because when I do it, and you've been with me. Yes. I go and pump other women's gas.
Yes. Yes.
You've seen it.
Yes.
I've been with you, and it's never been a disrespect because I saw my dad do it.
Yes.
And he would do it with my mom. And so if I'm sitting there seeing a woman who's got kids in the back seat or whatever, I'll there are times where I will go pump the gas or I'll open the door for you. Now, again, in our generation, very rarely do we hear even thank you.
I know, and that, I'm going to be honest, that burns me up.
Right?
Because when you see a man that is a married man who goes to show you that, hey, I'm respecting you as a woman, to open the door, to go ask, may I pump your gas?
Right.
You should say, my goodness, this is beautiful.
And see,
and thank you. I appreciate it.
And I don't understand how, I've gone, to pump, to the gas station, whatever, and I see full grown dudes, in the passenger seat. The woman is driving and she's out pumping the gas and he's sitting in the car straight chilling and his woman is pumping the gas and I'm, I got to stop myself because I want to go and correct it and I want to go pump the gas for her, but I'm like, okay.
She allowed it.
She's allowing this. She has lowered her standards for this cat that's in the passenger seat of her car or whatever.
Even if it's your son.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Exactly. And so we're not saying chivalry is dead, but we are saying that it's on life support.
It's on life support.
And it needs to be resuscitated quickly. Yes. How can it? Babe, you brought up a great example, and we're going to take a quick break here in a little bit. You brought up a great example. Everybody nowadays want to be influencers. And the way they want to be an influencer is they want to go and grab a YouTube channel and get a camera or a camera phone and sit in front of it and tell them stories and testimonies and why I've done this and I've made $5 million in 2 months and you can do it too, and I'm making $50,000 every 20 seconds. Look at my, da 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 da. We're so big on wanting to be influencers and wanting to be important and wanting to be seen, and I want my voice heard, and I'm writing my books and I got 50 books and I want you to read each one of them every night for the next 20 nights and all this different stuff that we're putting out there. But you can be an influencer, like you said, by just opening the car door here. And I'm going to give the example of how this show even came about, you guys. When a couple of days ago, and it happens all the time. This is all the time. Every time usually when we go out in public, I always open my wife's car door. I let her in first, and then I go and let my own self into, and get the car.
Say what?
And she always says thank you, always.
Thank you so
even if when we're mad at each other, we had an argument or whatever, I still do it.
Yes.
I still do. I may be huffing and puffing doing it, but I still do it, right?
Yes.
And so she says thank you, which to me is the greatest payback, just to acknowledge the fact that I'm doing it. I don't do it to hear the thank you, but I appreciate the thank you just as much as she appreciates the gesture of me doing it for her, right? So when we're out in public and we go and do it, or when I do it, there will be a woman sitting in the car and just looking. It happened today when we were coming out of the gym, an older black woman.
Yes.
She saw me, she was watching, she said it. She said, I was watching y'all walk to the car. And she said, I love what you did, young man. And she said, I love that you went over there and you opened her car door. She said, your mama raised a gentleman. This is an older black lady, probably in her mid-60s, about my mom's age, maybe mid-60s. And she said, I love seeing that. She said, because you don't see it no more. I've had older white women. I've had young white girls. We were at, where was it? Chipotle.
Yesterday.
We was at Chipotle yesterday. Young white girl at 2 or 3 cars down in the parking lot is looking way over there where we're parked at, and she stops, rolls down her window, and she says, oh my God, I love that. And she's like, you opening the car, you don't see that anymore. You don't see guys do that anymore.
Yes.
And so I asked the question, is chivalry dead? Whatever happened to chivalry? Whatever happened? I mean, back in the day, if it was raining and you had a mud puddle or something to walk over, the man would take off his coat and lay it out on the ground so she could walk over the mud puddle, whatever. That's just what I was taught. And the thing about it, I was taught that by my dad. I was taught that. You know why? I'll be flat honest with you. As a youngster, me and young girls my age didn't click. Mm-hmm. I couldn't vibe with girls my age, because again, the girls my age was they was on that thug kick. Mm-hmm. They was on that he hard, he a jock. I'm straight A student. I'm a bookworm. I'm into music. I'm playing the piano. I'm a dweeb, right? I'm corny. I got dreams of being a billionaire and all this different stuff. I'm a nerd, right? I don't play basketball. I don't play football. I'm not athletically inclined. I get on the piano and I kill it and I run circles around cats. That's what I do, right? But back then, that was like frowned upon, especially with girls my age. It was older women. That's why it was God then grooming me for you, because he knew that my wife would appreciate everything my dad was putting in me.
Oh my goodness.
Now, don't get me wrong.
Make me shout.
Don't get me wrong. I had girls that I dated my age that did appreciate it. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. And they may be watching. But I did have girls that did appreciate it. So I'm not talking about all girls my age and our generation. No. Because I did have some who did. And they were raised right and, and so forth and so on. But the older women tend to get me. And they were appreciative of those kind gestures, that me opening the doors, me being respectful, me not cussing them out, me, paying for the date, going out, whatever, treating them like a gentleman. They were like a woman. Yeah. They were appreciative. Yeah. I'm going to even get raw real quick, if you don't mind me doing that. I want to go raw even with the intimacy, because a brother, like I said earlier in the show, I was promiscuous then. And being promiscuous, even then, older women, I knew I couldn't handle them just any kind of way. Right. Does that make sense? Yes. Without trying to, go there. But I understood, because of how I was raised by my dad. I knew with an older woman, I couldn't just go in there and just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and shoot deuce. I knew I couldn't do that. Because y'all have an intellect and a maturity, y'all have a different maturity level, because y'all mature faster than we do as men, right? So even back then, before I married you, I had that understanding. Like I said, God was grooming me because he knew you were coming. And he knew you would be a mature woman, and he knew you'd be older than me, and he knew you'd be a different generation, and he knew you'd be beautiful. So he had to groom me to be able to withstand jealousy, to be able to withstand ignorance, and to still do the things that were instilled in me to open the car doors, to be respectable. I'm still learning, and I'm still having to learn. And because you're my wife, you get to train me and help me in those areas where I need to be refined, where I need to be reminded, hey babe, when we dated, you used to do this. Here, listen to me, fellas, because when she says that, she's saying you were Romeo when we were dating, right? But you Buster Brown now that we met. Now that we married, you Bojangles, and it's it's like, come on. So I get it. Yeah. I get it, and I'm immensely grateful for that.
I am immensely grateful for what you said, and let me say this. And I'm raising the flag for all us real women. And when I say real women, women who love themselves and who values this type of man. When I tell you, and I'm telling a secret, so ladies don't stone me. When I tell you, when you guys show that you love us, you respect us, you take time out to do the small things, to open the doors that's not small to us, to buy us flowers. You understand? To do those things like that. When I tell you we're putty in your hand, it is the truth. No matter what, that the days and weeks and months, we've been married 9 years. Like you would say, yeah, baby, you used to do that. Keep that, like you young people say, and I'm going to say it, keep that same energy.
Right.
And, make it, and in fact, get some more energy behind it, because it is so appreciated by women who want that. We want that.
And that's the thing, and I'll be honest with you, when you're a good woman, we want to do it. Yeah. We want to do that. Yeah. Like when you're a good woman. And I know for me, because I prayed and I waited, and I made some mistakes and blunders leading up to you, right? The blessed thing about the mistakes and blunders that I made is that they weren't so detrimental where God still couldn't give me you. Because I got some partners who have screwed up royally. When they were dating, they were out there and, doing their thing, whatever, and they screwed up so badly that it's darn near impossible for them to find the love of their life and to build something with her. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's harder. It's more. They made it more difficult. Right. The reason why I can say chivalry is not dead is because what I look to do, like I was telling or answering Greg's comment on here, or question, what I look to do is I don't care about being the influencer where you go to my YouTube or you go to my, and I need 50,000 followers by September. No, I don't care about that crap. But what I care about, if I'm a true influencer, what I'm saying is helping.
Right.
My example helps.
Yes.
Not just what I'm saying, but you see me live it.
There you go.
One thing I love about my wife, what she did today, is when the woman appreciated me opening her car door, she beamed from ear to ear. She always does. But she appreciated it so much, and it carried on for us going to grab some lunch and all these different things, and it just carried on throughout the day to where she verbally made me feel appreciated. She verbally told me, babe, I appreciate you so much. I thank you so much. Yeah. And that makes us become Superman. That makes us go out and grab and reach for the stars, and we're going to grab Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter while we out there. Because when we feel appreciated, we feel empowered as men. That is what empowers us. That is what makes us get up and want to go to work every day. Even when we go into a place where we don't want to go, even if we're doing something that we don't want to do, when we know we can come back to a good woman that appreciates and says it. Because what good is doing it if you don't? One thing that Bishop Jake says, and he says he'll go and do something nice for his wife, Sarita. And he says a lot of times he just wants the reaction. If I go and buy you something nice, babe, I don't care. I don't wear Louis Vuitton bags and all this different stuff and Gucci purses and all. I don't rock that stuff. But if I buy it for you, I want to see your reaction. I want to see that you love it, and not just stuff. But when I do a nice gesture, whatever, that empowers us that you appreciate it.
Absolutely, and we want you guys to be empowered and know that when I tell you, even on sometimes, women, we have to learn this. I don't know if you do this, but I'm saying even on their bad days, when they feeling down and they feeling like I'm not Superman today, you have to make sure that your voice is stronger than the other voice. Make sure that you let your husband know that, look, I don't care. And I'm looking at him right now. I don't care what it looks like. Right. You're my Superman.
Thank you.
You're my hero.
Yeah, thank you.
And I believe in you. I believe in your dreams. I believe in what God is putting you to do. I believe in it. And I'm right here to support you and be there for you.
Thank you. Amen.
That's
and that makes me want to. That makes me that is what gets me out of bed when the days are hard. Yeah. When the phone calls are not coming, when the business is not coming in, when the deals are not coming in, when certain things are not happening the way I thought they would happen, that is what gets me out of bed, hearing that and knowing that. And so chivalry's not dead, you guys. No. And the only way that we can bring it back is that we have to teach it, and we have to say something about it, and we have to
be examples.
And we have to be examples. Absolutely. That's the key thing, is to be examples. Bump trying to be an online influencer. Influence those every day. When people are looking and when they're not looking.
Right. When we started this show, when we decided to do this, we weren't doing this so we can be influencers or the next podcast or anything like this.
No.
The reason we started this is so that people can get back to love, get back to loving themselves, get back to seeing what is important, what is most important in our marriages, in our families, becoming whole and healthy. We started this because it was a journey for us as well.
Yes.
We were tired of seeing our society tell us that this wretchedness and this is how it's supposed to be now. No, I'll say this, and this is true. Everybody said things, well, things have changed. God, it ain't the same. God never changed.
Right.
He never changed. He remained the same. We changed. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to start this show to show all of us, look, let's stop Let's stop looking at what the world tell us to do.
Right.
And let's get back to what is right. Living right, doing what is right, being married, learning how to work through your marriage, your ups and your downs, learning how to love one another, learning how to be there for one another, learning about being husbands and wives and parenting.
Right.
We have to get back to what is the basic thing, which is love. That's the reason why we started this show. We don't care if we're not influencers. We don't care if 1,000 people don't come on this show.
Right.
It's not about that. If you share this show with someone and somebody hears something that helped their marriage, something that helped their home, their community, their children, and help lift them up, then we have done our job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to just piggyback off of what you said, babe, because, and I want people to really understand that we did not start this Living More with the Morgans. We didn't start this because we needed another podcast out there when there's millions and billions of podcasts right now on YouTube going. That's not why we did this.
No.
We did this because, one, we understood and it's an assignment for us, number one.
Assignment.
But two, we saw that people and marriages were struggling completely.
Like ours.
Like ours was, right. Especially after COVID.
Yes.
And so this was therapeutic for us. And if anybody knows me and you know I'm different and you know I like to do things different and my wife is the same, we do things different, we do things unorthodox. I didn't want to come on here and we're going to quote scriptures and we're going to have Bible hour for, an hour and a half. I didn't want that. Nothing wrong with that. If that's what you do and that's what your assignment is, cool.
Yes.
But if you're doing that because you want to be safe and you're doing that because you think, oh, that's what's needed, then you're probably missing your assignment. Because we saw so many people who were hurting. We saw so many people who were not living, not loving, not going anywhere, not doing anything together. Just marriage was crap.
Right.
And they call themselves, oh, we're doing ministry. No, your first ministry is your marriage. You dig what I'm saying?
Very.
So you run in a church and you got 5,000 members and this and this and this, but you and your wife back at home, the ministry of two is depleted.
Or your business. And we had to realize that our business was more. It took over our marriage.
Right.
We became more of a business partner than we were being married, and we had to be shown that by
and we had to reel it in and say, okay, you know what? I'm not her boss. She's not my secretary.
Right.
And so we had to look in the mirror and say, okay, what if we're going through this? I know some other folks are going through this.
Right.
And we personally knew some other people that were going through this.
Yes.
So that's what Living More with the Morgans is about. And that's what I believe, that topics like this are important.
Yes.
Because we do try to raise the issues. We do try to have fun.
Yes.
We have fun, we trip out, we do all that stuff, and that's cool. But I want us to really go away with some information and some nuggets, and like Greg said, some gems that are genuine. Yes. Where we don't have it all figured out, fam. We're still learning. We're still growing. We're 9 years into this thing. So there's things that we're still, taking away from one another and learning how to do this and apply this and do things better. We're a work in process like anybody else is. So we don't have it all figured out. But the thing of it is that what we do know, we are going to share.
We're going to share.
What has worked for us, we are going to share.
Right.
So if there's a prescription that we've taken that's helped heal some areas in our lives, then who are we not to share that prescription with someone who's going through the same ailments that we were going through?
Absolutely. And that's what we wanted to do with Chivalry. Chivalry, romance, it's not dead. And I'm telling men that women appreciate that. Yeah. Those who love it, we appreciate it. We appreciate chivalry. We appreciate the romance. Okay, and especially in our marriages, we have gotten it has gotten so boring. Marriages have gotten so boring because we've gone through what we call routine. Mm-hmm. You guys don't start routines. Don't
Right.
start anything like that. Do things outside of the box. Find new things to do. Hey, a romantic night. They do date night. Date night don't have to be. Papa tell us this. Date night don't have to be Friday nights or
Right.
Saturday night. Date night could be any night
Any
because
night.
this is your husband.
And
This
you
is
can
your
make it,
wife.
and you can make it
You
spontaneous.
can make it spontaneous.
But I want to jump on this real quick. To those, to women and fathers out there who have daughters,
Yes.
the entertainment industry, the music industry is doing a fantastic job by putting messages and images in front of our young girls and our women
Yeah.
to make them think something different than who they are and what they're supposed to be.
Right.
And I would admonish every woman that's watching that has daughters.
Right.
Yes, teach your sons. But if you've got a daughter or if you've got some young girls in your lives, help them understand not only how to appreciate themselves, but how to appreciate the good, kind gestures of a man.
Yeah.
That it isn't corny to open the door. It isn't corny and goofy to speak articulately and with some intelligence. It's not. You're not a cornball, and I'm not going to put you in the friend zone because you don't treat me like this and like that. No, we need to teach our daughters that it's okay for the young man to be respectable, and he should be respectable. It should be a prerequisite. It should be a requirement that he is respectable. That he doesn't come in there with his pants sagging, showing his drawers and his underwear. It should be a requirement that he don't step to you that way.
Absolutely.
And so we've got to teach our young girls
Yes.
higher standards, higher values, higher morals for themselves so that they
Yes.
don't settle for these lame, whack,
not settle.
ignorant jokers out here that are making us all as men look bad sometimes. And so I admonish the ladies and the fathers that are watching. And even if you're not a father, even if you're an uncle,
Yes.
if you got nieces, if you got little cousins or whatever, go and talk to these girls and say, you know what? You don't have to be the Cardi B.
And be an example.
You don't have to be the Meg Thee Stallion. You don't have to be the Nicki Minaj. Nothing against those ladies, but we understand what they personify. We understand the image that they portray.
Right.
And it's not a healthy one, fam. It's not. If they were watching out, and I hope somebody would share this with them, I got no problem sitting down with anybody and saying that in an intellectual discourse.
Right.
But the thing, exactly, intelligently, not going, girl, no, we don't do that. We can talk it out, and we can be intellectual, and we can get something accomplished, then let's do that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that because it is imperative for this generation going forward.
That's right.
I want our daughter to know that there are some good brothers out there and some good men out there
Yes.
that will respect her,
Yes.
that will honor her, and that will do the small things as well as the big things
Yes.
to show that he appreciates her and to show that he wants her in his life.
That's right.
And that's what we need to get back down to. So again, chivalry may be on life support, family, but it's not dead.
It's not dead.
It's not dead. You guys, we're going to take a quick break. But before we do, if you found this conversation enlightening, if you found it to be dope tonight, do us a favor. Share it on your wall. Engage with us. Let
Yes.
people know Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Eastern that you need to be tuned in to Living More with the Morgans, you guys. And so, again, if you found this conversation, this topic tonight, one that was engaging, feel free to share it on your wall, share it on your social media pages. We want to build the following. We want to do all of that. We want to do it organically. We want people here that want to be here.
That want to be here.
We want people here not just sending out advertisements and messages and bots and all that different stuff. No, we want people here who want to be here, who want to engage, who are learning something, who got something they can give us as well.
Yes.
One of our sister, Patrice Snowden, she jumped on, and thank you so much for tuning in. She said, much love to you guys. She said, we're 42 years into our marriage and we're still growing. And she said, your first ministry should always be your marriage. Absolutely. Yes. And so shout out to the Snowdens because they understand it. They get it. 42 years, that's longer than I've been alive. I mean, y'all,
it's not for me,
y'all got married when I was born. So I know I got plenty to learn from y'all. And so we honor you guys and we honor the marriages out there that are doing this thing, that want this thing. And has it been easy? Absolutely not. If it was easy, no, I mean, no, marriage is not going to be easy. Nothing worthwhile, nothing that you're going to build that's going to last and have longevity is going to be easy. No, an oak tree grown in a forest doesn't get it easy. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
There's storms that come. There's animals that come. There's all kind of natural elements that come to try to knock that oak tree down. But guess what? It withstands all of that. And when you see an oak tree that's 100 years old, 200, 300 years old, you better know that it has withstood some storms.
Yes.
And so when you see a marriage that has gone 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 42 years, they've been knocked down. Yes. They've been knocked over. Yeah. But it ain't over. And that's something to celebrate and that's something to praise. But you guys don't go nowhere. We will be right back after this quick message. We'll be right back with Living More with the Morgans. Don't go nowhere.
Don't go
Stay
anywhere.
right here, you guys.
Stay right here.
The truth.
All right, you guys, and we're back to Living More with the Morgans, and we're about to go ahead and close our show out. But babe, did you want to say anything before we do that?
I just want to say I hope and pray that you all really got something from this tonight. Marriages and men, and women, love yourself. Respect yourself, and who you attract will do the same. Yes. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that it's important, and for us women, it's a blessing to us to have men that show you that hey, they respect you, they love you, they care about you, and it's appreciated in this society. Yeah. So please don't ever think, I want to definitely say this to the men again, don't ever think that you're not appreciated. Those that are good men, you are appreciated. Go out and help another man. Show him what it means to love himself and to love his women and to love the women in his lives, whether it be his mom, aunt, uncle, mom, aunt, cousins, any of them in the family that are women. Always go and be respectful to them. And women, don't settle. Love yourself. You will attract what you are. So that is what I wanted everyone to hear and know.
Absolutely. Thank you, baby. And just to close it out, I want to say that, again, in the age of being an influencer, what are we influencing? Why are we looking to be influencers? Is it to raise the awareness of me, myself, and I? Is it to gain followers that could be potential leads to making money or growing fame for my 15 minutes of notoriety? Each of us, whether we know it or not, has a platform of influence.
Yes.
Whether it be negatively or positively, you have a platform of influence. Every time you go out in public, every time you meet with people, every time you sit and talk to somebody over the phone or in person, how you treat them, how you talk to them, how you communicate with them is going to influence them negatively or positively. So you don't need no camera for that. And you don't need no Facebook page or YouTube channel for that. You already are an influencer. So in our society today, full of young people and older people, full of black people and white people and brown people, our society and our culture is seemingly changing every other minute. But one thing that I do believe should stand the test of time is how we treat one another and the good that we value in one another. And what God has made as his mandate is that the man and the woman have a place and a role to play in family and in society as a whole. And when we start deviating from that, we don't have to ask the question whether chivalry is dead. Everything will die. If we kill the family unit, if we kill the hope that God saw for family, everything dies. Everything is put asunder. And we're doing this for nothing. There's nothing to influence. There's no one to influence. So we can't take that chance, family. Each of us has a responsibility. Each one teach one. Don't have to wait on a program to be formed at your church. You don't have to wait for someone else to say it in Congress or in the government. You don't have to wait for someone else to do anything. Because like I said, you already are the influencer, whether you know it or not, and whether you like it or not. So use your influence to better people's lives, and use your influence to resuscitate good things that are dying around you. Use your influence to give life back into things that sorely need to live again.
Yes.
I know we try to with our platform, Living More with the Morgans. We want to live more. We believe that God has more for us, and we believe that God has more for you.
Yes.
And so until next Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we say thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
To Living More with the Morgans. We love you guys.
Love you guys.
And have a great week.
Have a great week.